Lieman. I am the gallerist of the gallery Gazambo in Madrid, dealing with African contemporary art. I opened in 2009 and I will be delighted to tell you more about my gallery.
What is the vision that guides Gazambo Gallery's curatorial approach? How do you select the artists and works that represent the gallery's voice?
I have to say, first of all, that Gazambo Gallery is a bit of special gallery because we did like a colonial house, and I decided to bring artists not from the diaspora. I'm dealing only with local artists, which is more challenging because they are not known at all. They are through much more difficulties than the one who are out of Africa. But I think I'm doing the work of Mesen, which is very nice too. And that's why you see my gallery is the only African contemporary gallery in Madrid. And it was a real challenge when I opened 2009 because people didn't know what was this kind of art. They had a bit of a knowledge about the tribal and the traditional, and we have to think in Spain, the Spanish didn't have a lot of African colony except Guinea Española. So they don't have an approach, not like the French or the Dutch or the Belgium. So it was even more challenging, but that was what was interesting. And at the beginning, I chose some of artists that I knew for a long time that we became collectors and other new ones. But my story was always to have a very good relationship with the artist. Apart, I like what they do, but I like the person. So that is, for me, the most important. The relation gallery artist is really the most important for me.
What do you look for in an artist when considering a long-term collaboration? Are there specific qualities beyond the artwork that you particularly value?
So you see, this is a funny question for me. I'm telling you why. I don't do program. So that is not very typical for a gallerist, but I do in another way. I give a chance to many artists because that is a part, again, that is not the diaspora, is artists who need to be known. So knowing so many, as I live in Kenya for many years, I thought it was not fair to represent one or two and to follow them. So I don't have a program. I show them, I sell them in my gallery. I can do another year, another show, or no. And I can keep another one or I change to another one. So I don't do program.
How do you balance artistic integrity with the commercial realities of running a gallery? Where do you draw the line between market demand and curatorial conviction?
That is a problem. That is an economical problem. Is a problem we always have. The gallery to be a gallerist is a wonderful job and is a passion that you have. The commercial part became more complicated. The dream of any gallerist, I think, should be that we wish it would be a museum and we don't have to sell. But unfortunately, we have to sell. So that is no rule for that. I'm talking about myself, about my gallery. Depend. Suddenly, you can have a lot of clients, you can do very well. Suddenly, you don't do well. So I think, it's part of this profession, and nobody has an idea. You can do a marketing, you can be with Instagram, with YouTube, with so many things, but people will come, that's for sure, people will come, but don't have a guarantee 100% that they will buy. So you have to be always patient, optimist, and we have a lot of enemies, you see. We have the important auction, because that is the one they do whatever they want. And we have a lot of artists who sell and deal in their own workshop, which is not, before it was not so much like that. Now it is a bit. But you cannot blame them 100% because the gallery are not selling so well at the moment, so they have to survive. So you see, I think both are okay. Some galleries they are really against these kind of things. I'm not, because you see, if we sell a lot, they don't need to do that. So you see, the scenery of the market at the moment is complicated. It will change, but we have to be patient.
How has the rise of digital platforms and global art fairs influenced your strategy? Has it changed the way you connect with collectors or discover new artists?
In my case, and it didn't change really. You see, there's an evolution. You have to follow the evolution. Um, all the new technology, the digital, all of that, you see, doesn't affect me because I'm still old school. I love to learn. I have nothing against, but for me, I need the client to come to my gallery to touch, especially the sculpture, and to have a direct relation with me, because you see, otherwise, I think there's missing in the middle. I think, especially, in my case, don't forget, I live in Africa for so many years, for more than 40 years. So I am an African, really. And I have a Kenya passport, by the way. So I have a plus, I have a relation with a plus with my artist. I know my artist, I know the way they live, I know the way they created at which moment of their life. So for me, you see, all the evolution doesn't affect me, and my collectors, they follow me, because that is, this gallery is particular. I'm not really in the market. I've been very honest on that. I never say if you buy a piece in Gazambo is a good asset and is a good investment. No, it's uh, my pieces as you buy it by with your art. And if you're a big collector, you can have a Picasso, and you can have next uh, an artist that is cost 5,000 euro and is nobody for the moment. You never know if he will be out. And if he's not, you bought it in a moment and it's a heart. So in Gazambo, you buy by heart. You have a price in the market if you deal with the diaspora. I repeat, because that's very important. If you deal with the local one, it's more complicated. It's a big difference, because you never know. Tomorrow they need money to feed their kids, and they will put down the market. So you have sold too much. So I'm very concerned on that.
What trends or transformations in the art world are you currently watching closely? Are there any themes, mediums, or emerging markets that excite you?
You see, at the moment, there is a lot of changing, because you see, we don't know. People said after the COVID, not after the COVID. I think it's a question of generation. Every we don't know, every years, few years, 4 or 5 years, there is always a change in the art. But I'm going to tell you something interesting. You see, now, I think especially the young artists, they are more concerned about the climate, about the politics, about the economy, because there is more problem and more problem. So even if they don't feel, it's a kind of situation that being an artist and the creativity and the spirituality, everything, they feel to follow a bit the society, which is normal. In Africa, it's completely different, because this value they always had. They have always been concerned about the environment. They have a respect to the individual. Amazing, I mean, the family, the other people. They have a respect to many things, and they have a reivindication for always, for the politician, for the problem economical, always. So for them, the situation we are living in the Occident, that their life since ever. So in a way, they are more prepared than the people here. So for once, we have an advantage.
your artist comes to you and asks for advice, what advice would you give him?
I always will say the same to them, to be themselves, to be authentic, not to want to do what another one is doing because it looks like it's getting successful, not to try to do like another one, always to do what you feel, what you have in your heart. And that's it, that's the most important, and to be authentic and to do it when you're in your mood. If suddenly you feel today I'm not, just leave it, it's not a problem. You do it the next day. Just to be relaxed and to do like we have been doing always. No stress, no pressure, which is the most difficult now because a lot of artists have a pressure. Try not to have the pressure.
Could you share a recent exhibition or collaboration with an artist that was especially meaningful and why? Was it due to the narrative, audience perception, or personal connection?
Actually, yes. You see, I've a young actress that I know for a long time, and he decided suddenly to do to have an approach with the paper, the origami. So he said, "You see, it's interesting. I would like to see how the feeling when the Japanese they do that is very pure, is very relaxing, and it's completely different what I do." So I decided to do that, and I put a bit of course, of colors under the paper because I'm an African, and then I have to put the color always. So I thought that was quite interesting because I like the intercultural the story about it. Like a Japanese can go in a residence in Kenya and have an approach with the African art. But then the problem is, when I arrived here, I said in Madrid, how I'm going to defend you, Longinos, with this Japanese feeling of yours. So I decided, I said, why don't we frame it with African material, which is actually, especially from Kenya, called kanga. There is a proverb, but I didn't want to put it, but is a very interesting piece of material because this material is only for women, and they give it for the wedding, for the funeral, for the birthday, for the Mother Day. So I thought it was very Kenya and the cultural part of it, and your Japanese story. So I really made a nice event for him. We sold very well. I remain now with six, and people were very interesting, and people have appreciated a lot this combination of these two stories, no? Because and it's to show that the African, even if they stay in Africa, they are open to the world and they are able to do other things without traveling. And the most important, as a gallery, I have a passion for my heart and for Africa for sure. So I think that is the most important. So you are more than welcome to come to see me anytime. Thanks a lot.